Well, new reaction today from lawmakers to the Occupy Wall Street protests. Responses are falling along party lines, and some might say this is predictable. But Politico reports one Republican long shot, Buddy Roemer, has joined the demonstrations in New York. Meanwhile, other Republicans are slamming the movement. It's, in fact, one of them calling it a mob aimed at class warfare. Take a listen.
I ran across two of the protests, one in Washington, D.C. and one in Boston. And they have nothing in common at all with the protests that were being put forward, or the demonstrations, you might say, that were put forward by the Tea Party.
We have elected leaders that are inflaming this sense that we ought to be pitting Americans against Americans.
My dad's idea was, I want to work hard enough so I can buy a Cadillac, not take somebody else's.
Meanwhile, House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi defended the movement's rights to hold protests and pointed out Republicans supported the Tea Party during its demonstrations, the early demonstrations. Zachary Karabell is the president of River Twice Research. He's also, of course, a contributor with the Daily Beast. Zachary, you were live with us last Wednesday when we were out there with this. Even though the Republicans are coming out and slamming, some Republicans coming out and slamming these protests, it appears the Democrats don't quite know how to, if you will, take advantage of this movement as the Republicans did the Tea Party.
Yeah, I mean, with the Tea Party, it was much more clear what side of the political spectrum, push comes to shove, that party was on, right? I mean, they were almost entirely part of the Republican Party or fringe. The problem with the Wall Street protests from a political perspective is simply there aren't very clear goals. It's a bit of an inchoate, albeit intensely passionate, intensely activated movement. So if you're a Democratic Party strategist or someone running a campaign, it's not really clear where the votes go here.
Well, I mean, wouldn't it be very clear if you just lined up the sound bites and sound clips that we pointed out? To me, it would seem that would be an advantage for the Democrats when you have several Republican presidential candidates saying that this is nonsense or that these people are jealous, I believe, of the words that Herman Cain had to say about the success. So where else would they go with their votes?
Don't get me wrong. I think it's probably a mistake for the Democrats not to do everything they can to hitch themselves to this, because, again, you've got a passionate, activated group of people who may not vote unless there is a clear sense that the Democrats are going to be their standard bearer. And when you're a Democrat right now, given the prevailing winds, you know, you better affix yourself to any moment of passion you can get.
Well, right now we know at least one corporation is backing this Occupy Wall Street movement. Ben & Jerry's, they released a statement saying, we realize that Occupy Wall Street is calling for systematic change. We support this call to action, and are honored to join you in this call to take back our nation and democracy. Why do you believe that the Republicans are pushing so hard against this movement? What advantage does it give them to do so?
Yeah, I think that's probably a mistake. I mean, meaning they don't necessarily gain anything by attacking a group of people who are
mobs.
Yeah, and I don't think they need to consolidate their own base in that way right now. So in that sense, I think they are making a huge error in going against a group of people who are basically standing out against income inequality, against the ways in which this is an economy that is not benefiting people by any measure.
Which is what the Tea Party was against early on.
So again, I don't know what you gain from a Republican perspective by attacking this, and I don't know what you lose from a Democratic perspective by not joining this. So, you know, again, there's a lot to disagree with. Parties are big tents. There are a lot of different voices, and it's going to be messy. But this is a group of people who, in a lot of different cities, are basically saying, look, this is not an even economy, and while it may not have to always be absolutely equal, it is just far too unequal.
All right, Zachary, great to have you on again. Good to see you. Thank you. Coming up, the latest on the investigation into a missing 10-month-old baby. Police now say the parents are cooperating again with the investigation, but there are new details regarding the child's mother. And the recession may officially ended 2 years ago, but a new report shows Americans' incomes have dropped dramatically since then. Plus,